Good afternoon, guys. Bill McMillan here with NDWX.com, and we wanted to touch base with you on the potential and what seems to continue to look like now the likelihood of a heavy rain event unfolding early next week. That said, the GFS forecast model here says things are a little bit east in terms of phasing and providing that heavy rain threat compared to some other data. And we'll look at that here this evening. And as we put this forward, we've got a great weekend ahead. At least the first half of the weekend before clouds begin to increase Sunday and scattered showers begin to impact the region. It's really early next week that stands the increasing likelihood of becoming rather wet and certainly much colder as we go through next week. But as we continue to advance this, a gusty southwesterly wind Saturday will give way to an approaching cold front. By the way, a severe weather outbreak seems likely as well across the south central plains. As we advance this, scattered showers move in here Sunday. Sunday doesn't appear to be a very wet day. I think more dry time than wet times on Sunday. And the GFS model says things phase a little bit too far east to provide much of a soaking rain for our portion of the country. That said, there are some ensemble members here that would suggest the idea the European and the Canadian have, by the way, they've been very consistent, are the right way to go with our forecast as we move into early portions of next week. And speaking of the European, this is a look at the upper air pattern and the 500 millibar pattern off of the ensemble. We use ensemble data to see consistency, to get a more accurate representation of the weather pattern in the medium term, if you will. And similar to the GFS, there's obviously no arguing how pleasant things will be tomorrow and Saturday as well, unseasonably warm and dry. But as we advance this forward and we progress into early portions of next week, the European says a cutoff low across the south central portion of the country is really absorbed by a trough that amplifies over the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes region, and certainly would suggest a wetter regime early next week as it phases things further west compared to the GFS. This does have support, by the way, as well from the Canadian model. So the way things stand now, we're going to favor a blend of the European and the Canadian data and advertise a significant rain event early next week. And the potential is there for widespread 2-inch type totals, locally heavier amounts possible early next week before the coldest air of the season arrives to wrap up the month. And the potential is certainly on the table later next week, where highs may not even make it out of the 40s during the middle and latter portions of next week. Coolest air so far this season arrives, and the European ensemble continues to advertise that 1-2 punch as it has been doing over the past few days. Guys, make it a great evening. Thank you, as always, for logging on to NDWX.com. By the way, we will have our annual winter outlook posted on NDWX.com over the weekend. If you get bored, definitely log on. We'll have that posted for you later this weekend as well. Make it a great evening. We'll talk with you soon.